Melissa Strange, and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Drag. Today we're going to be talking about the Boulet Brothers DRAGULA episode number 3. This episode starts off with the Boulet Brothers enjoying a nice light meal of blood soup, and then they call the queens and tell them that they are to get their best zombie looks ready and are going to be picked up soon. The queens that did not participate in the extermination challenge as of last episode, which was the mud wrestling episode, are all standing outside of wherever their pickup spot in their half zombie looks, and they're all speculating who got exterminated. Quite a few of them think that Ursula will go home because her attitude was bad, but they also thought that she shouldn't have gone this early, and they all thought she'd be there till the end, till at least the top 3. And I feel like a lot of viewers felt the same way, to be honest. One by one come in Melissa Be Fierce, Xochitl Mochi, and Frankie Doom. Each of them come in one at a time and explain what happened during the extermination challenge and what their thoughts on it were, which is basically that it was a lot more aggressive than they assumed it was going to be, and that they were all sore in the morning, and also that they're kind of surprised that Ursula isn't there. But I mean, if you are feeling defeated already, like, that is going to carry through into your performance, and that's going to show that maybe you aren't there to win because you're not totally in the game, so you go home. Sometimes that happens. So the queens are picked up and taken to Death Valley to compete in the zombie part of this competition. While getting ready, Foxy Ashaway was kind of down on herself and saying like, oh, I'm not creative enough, but like, you're really creative. Like, that. The weird thing was she was saying she wasn't creative, but she's creative. You know, maybe her look isn't as creative as Frankie, who had that like crazy teeth thing going on, but she is creative as hell. Like, she is very creative. So, you know, I felt bad that she was saying that she didn't feel like she was creative and didn't feel like she maybe was as good as everyone else. And at that point I'm like, girl, you just all were talking about how Ursula was feeling defeated after whatever in the last episode, and now you're doing the same thing. So the Boulet Brothers are looking for some filthy, dirty, disgusting zombies for the floor show. And then after they all come out of their trailer and do a quick little floor show number, they're told now they're also going to have to participate in a zombie acting scene. So I'm going to comment on each one of these queens based on their floor show and based on the acting portion of it. Melissa Be Fierce came out as this like Mexican, I believe it was a Mexican dress, pregnant zombie, and I actually really liked the look. I thought her acting was like okay, it was funny. She kind of like ran up and like strangled the guy, but I'm like, I know it's supposed to be funny, but like, do zombies have that much like thought that the first thing they're gonna do is use the umbilical cord from their baby that's attached to them and choke the guy out? It was just, I don't know. I don't know. Then we had Frankie Doom rocking this nuclear teeth monster craziness. And Frankie went straight for the bottom side of that young male actor. And then those teeth on that rear end, whew, that guy ain't gonna be able to sit down for a while. Then you had Loris rocking some rabid rabbit look. I was very confused as it wasn't really giving me zombie vibes, but at the same time I really liked it, but it wasn't a zombie, so I was like, what is happening? And for the acting, I actually thought it was kind of cute to be like, oh, this guy comes up to this innocent little rabbit and then she attacks and grabs his arm and then was chewing on the fingers like carrots. I thought that was really funny. Foxy Ashaway, her look was that she had that eye falling out and she was wearing like a school kilt, like those plaid kilt thingies, and like a bow tie, I think, or something. I don't know, I was kind of confused by her look. And her performance actually really wasn't that bad. She kind of did a sneak attack and then was, you know, like basically making out with the actor. And I thought it was good. It wasn't the worst one. Xochitl Mochi was a neon superstar zombie, I guess. The look was actually really good. And I think her act was playing on a foot fetish, as the only thing she touched from that man was his foot, and she was like licking it and eating it or something. Then you had Meatball rocking like a Marie Antoinette type look, and it was good. It wasn't my favorite either. There was quite a few of these zombie looks that just like weren't my favorite, but I feel like the acting was very Meatball. Lastly, Vander Von Odd did this like floral bone zombie thing it was flawless, and even the Boulet Brothers in Judgment say like, I wish she just painted her face instead of covering most of it up. I felt like that was like such an easy out. Like it did go, like it went with the bones showing on the costume, but she could just paint that on her face, right? Like if she wanted to create that bulging part for like the skull to really be like coming out more, she could have just used a prosthetic or put something there, right? So I feel like she kind of could have done better. I feel like another queen was already like told not to wear masks and stuff, but out of all of the looks, none of them like screamed my traditional zombie that I was picturing in my head, you know? Like I felt like they could have really gone there, and like they all really had their own twists, but some of them were like Loris was like, that's not a zombie. And then I did like Loris, and I did like Frankie Dooms, but I felt like both of theirs weren't quite zombie. Like Frankie's was more like a nuclear monster thing with those teeth. Like what, you become a zombie and you also become predator at the same time. Like it was just this weird, like I don't know, it just wasn't there, if that makes sense. Like everybody else went for a zombie and the two of them just kind of like didn't, but still, the two of them had the best prosthetics out of all of them. As for the Judgment, Xochi Mochi, safe. Frankie Doom, safe. Melissa Be Fierce, win. Vander Von Odd, also a win. Foxy Ashaway, bottom. Loris, bottom. And Meatball, safe. Do I agree with these choices? Yes. Because definitely Loris was not zombie. She said that it was something to do with Japanese zombie anime something, but like the challenge wasn't do Japanese anime, something like she kind of really reached for it. But at the same time, like I don't think she's gonna go home. As long as she does the extermination challenge, she won't go home. Like she's done really well and she's really talented. And then Foxy, I'm like, well, you saw that coming. I felt like her zombie look wasn't as cohesive as a look. You couldn't look at her and be like, oh, that one there was a blah 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 who is now dead. No, it was more like, what? Like it was like a couple different looks. It just didn't all pull together. So I was like, she's totally gonna be in the bottom. But after the Judgment and after the bottom two were decided, the Boulet Brothers throw a dang curveball at Vander Von Odd and call her out and say, look, we know you won, but you've also never been in an extermination challenge, and we want to see that you have the filth, punk, dirty, gross, filthy aspect that we're looking for. You can't just get away on being the best every week. You have to prove yourself. So we'd like you to volunteer to be in the extermination challenge that we haven't actually told you what you're gonna do yet. And then Vander's like right away like, yeah, I'll do it. And of course, like, why wouldn't you? If you said no, then like, that looks bad on you. It looks like you can't handle doing something dirty. And it is easily the dirtiest competition out of all of them. They have to eat brains, as zombies survive off of brains. Now you have poor Loris, who has been a vegan for, I think it's 2 years. And then you have the other two who are just like, this is gross, but I'll do it. Right away, both Melissa Be Fierce and Vander Von Odd just dive right into these cooked pig brains and start eating them, you know, and they were not allowed to use their hands, so they're going at it. But before they do it, Loris stops and says, I've been a vegan for 2 years and I'm gonna do this, and then starts ripping her prosthetic off, while the other two are like pretty much almost done their brains anyways and doing this whole act. And then she kind of like slowly eats them. Like I felt like the other two were being like crazy zombies and she was more like just like eating a pig's brain. And I was like, that's pretty gross, but it was still really funny, and I can't believe she stepped up to do that, because most vegans would be like, no, I'm vegan, I can't do this. But like, girl, it's a competition, you'd go home, and Loris is like, this is a competition, I gotta step up and do it. I think that alone, based on, yes, her look wasn't a zombie, but based on the skill level of the look she pulled off, and the fact that she stepped up and ate the pig brains, that there was no way she was going home. But a lot of the queens, after the extermination challenge and after the Judgment happens, they are talking with the cameras saying that they actually think that it will be Loris who goes home because her look wasn't a zombie. But I think that they were all feeling threatened by her, and they were hoping if they all kind of said like Loris, that she would go. When clearly, in my opinion, it would be Foxy. And Foxy Ashaway gets exterminated, and that is where this episode ends off. 6 queens remain. There's another episode in 2 weeks from now, and we will see more of these Dragula looks then. Favorite look of this episode, I think I have to hand it off to Vander Von Odd. The actual detail in it from head to toe was amazing. It would have been like one of my favorite looks of the season though, if she had just painted her face instead of putting half a skeleton skull thingy on her head. But other than that, that was my favorite look. I did like Frankie Doom's look, but I just felt like it wasn't super zombie, which is why I'm not gonna say that's one of my favorite looks. Same with Loris. I really like the rabbit, but not a zombie. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about episode 3 of Dragula, who your favorite looks were, what you thought about, you know, Loris's rabid rabbit look, whatever. That's actually really hard to say, so just stop and say rabid rabbit 3 or 4 times in a row. It's very difficult. I will be back in 2 weeks with another Dragula video, but there is going to be a ton of content on this channel, especially in the month of December, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button. That's not a subscribe button, that's a like button. But the red button, that says subscribe, that one, click it, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the episode in 2 weeks from now when I recap and review Dragula episode number 4. And please make sure you leave me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. I'd love to discuss them with you. Thanks for watching this video once again, everyone. My name's Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.